So what content do you enjoy making right now, and what content is a bitch to make?
As much as I like making the Blame game, it's actually a total bitch to make. It's like my bread and butter. I'm never going to stop doing it until like there's a reason to stop doing it, but it's like 10 to 20 hours of work for a 5-minute video because I have to, already I have to watch all the games. And then I have to go into the Reddit threads and find the most interesting topics. And then I need to go back and rewatch the games with those topics with that in mind to answer those questions. And then I need to write a script about it, shoot it, and then edit it, because that's fairly editing heavy with lots of like, arrows flying around and clips I'm pulling up and stuff like that. So that process takes a long time, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's like the lowest payoff, because individually for my own brand, it's like my best thing, but it's definitely the most effort with like the least like visibility. Whereas like, PLT with Scara, like I roll in, like we have a couple meetings during the week. Sometimes I message like a graphics guy about stuff, set the stuff up, and then we shoot, 5 hours of content in probably about 10 hours of work, right? So much different like payoff there. So that one's a bitch. I also still enjoy doing the Blame game, but I think what I enjoy the most is Analyst Desk or PLT, because Analyst Desk is nice. I like being able to see the games and give feedback right away for people. I think is cool, because that's like what I used to do as a coach. Was like a lot of post game breakdown. So the game ends with the team. I have all my timestamps. We go through the VODs. We talk about it. It's like the same thing without the pro players giving their feedback. Very similar process, and I always like that. And then PLT, the show I do with Scara, is just like a totally different style show where like I can be totally off the cuff. I'm definitely like on Blame Game and Riot, pretty like straight edge, not like gonna say anything too inflammatory, and then off cameras and a little bit more like how I am on PLT is just like ridiculous.
You do a lot of work in Reddit. What is your relationship with Reddit?
I love it. I think people just get too bent out of shape about fan opinions in general. Like Twitter's the same way for the most part. But with Reddits and upvotes, I think you see like if someone gets like a stupid opinion out there, but for some reason the community agrees with it, or there's, you get into like the system, like how Reddit works, like in terms of how important it is to get a post in the first 10 minutes of a thread going up, how that influences what the whole thread talks about, stuff like that. Like that's stuff I think about. Like if I have something in the Blame Game episode I put out, sometimes I'll post a comment right away to address it, and things like that you can do. And I think that part bothers a lot of people, but it is what it is. Everything has like flaws, and I don't blame fans or community for not like understanding the game at a high level, because they don't play it all day, every day, and they're not good at it. And I don't blame them for like getting mad and like flaming people for the most part, because it's like this is entertainment for them. It's like, they're fucking bored on weekends watching the games, and then this dude that they like sucked and now they're mad. Like I don't get mad at them or upset that they get this kind of attitude. I think like name calling goes a little bit too far sometimes. I think like calling for people to get benched or like fired goes too far. I haven't really been under Reddit's crosshair, so maybe I just am a little bit, knock on wood somewhere but I think like maybe I'm looking at it with like a little bit of rose tinted glasses, because I haven't felt like the bad effects, but I'm also not the kind of person to like worry what people are saying for the most part. I'm the type of like, I'm way harder on myself. So like if it gets to the point where Reddit's criticized me over something, I've probably known that's a problem. I should fix that.
How is Riot doing with their relationship with Reddit, and what should they be doing?
I think they've been better. I think the community has somewhat unreasonable expectations of communications of a major gaming company. And if you look at Riot compared to other companies, they're pretty fucking good. And I think for the most part, people don't have that perspective, because everyone has like a main game. And for a lot of people, especially people on Reddit, League is their main game. And they don't play Hearthstone and see how bad the communication has been on that game for a really, really long time in terms of listening to community feedback. And like, there's a lot of examples of that where people just like, the community relations teams aren't great. And like Riot's is not perfect either. I think like some of the answers to some problems that they weren't totally aligned on as a company were a joke, like sandbox mode. because I was kind of campaigning for it at the time, and then I saw their response and I like lost my shit. I was like, are you kidding me? You think this is going to make the community more toxic? Like, that's never going to happen. Like, this doesn't even make sense. And from what I heard, even people in Riot, because, you know, Riot's not a single entity. There's multiple people within Riot. This might shock people. But, yeah, there was like a huge meeting after that, from what I heard, where it was like, how the fuck was this our official like PR response? Like, the people who put that out were like so apologetic, and was like a major thing at Riot, which is like anytime there's controversy in the community, that controversy is going on in Riot at the same time. So Dynamic Q, like, you think like all Riot was like, yeah, this is a great idea. Like, I think there's a lot of turmoil internally for that as well. And all that aside, like, community bad expectations, Riot's like complex situations, I think just sometimes the way they talk, they get so caught up in their corporate lingo that they lose the ability to like easily relate to the common man. And they like repeat the same kind of phrases where it's like, this is something that we're looking to improve on. Like for a while, for like 2 years, every like time that they messed up, their thing ended with like, we're gonna work on improving our communication moving forward. It's like, and after a little bit, you're like, dude, stop posting that like same message. It just like, it pissed me off. I saw like the community game piss off. It's like, mistakes happen. Just stop like apologizing and be like, yeah, we're gonna really learn from this one and blah, 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 blah. I think that's the only thing. It's just like, chill out with the corporate lingo sometimes, but that's it.
It's tough to be $1 billion company and still be relatable to, you know, the Reddit
We're
community.
just a bunch of normal guys hanging out. I'm Mark Merrill, and like, you know, fucking loaded from Merrill Lynch or whatever his background is.
We're just like you.
Yeah, just like me in college eating, you know, dollar ramen.
Louis C.K. did a great bit. He's like, no, you know what? No, I'm not like you at all. Everything that you do, I do a better version of it.
Yeah. For the record, fans, I'm not like that. I sit at home 9 times out of 10 doing nothing every night, just trolling Reddit and watching movies. No superstar life here.